What is up, BQ here, King of the Mountain Podcast. Thanks for clicking on the link. I know you're really excited to hear what Robbie E has to say, and I promise you we had a really good interview and really good conversation with one half of the BroMans. And I'm going to get to that real quick. I know you're really excited about it, but there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. First thing, this might be your first time listening to our podcast. Whatever platform you are listening to us on, whether it's SoundCloud, YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, whatever it is, please do us a favor, subscribe. We do review Impact Wrestling each week, and we do it in a very positive light. Now, we are not fanboys. We will call a spade a spade. If we see something we don't like, something we don't enjoy, we will call them out on it, maybe say how we would do things a little bit different, but it's a positive show. So far, all the listeners really enjoy it. We've got nothing but good feedback and high marks from people. No one's ever said a single negative word to us. So I think you'll really enjoy this show. Just check us out each week, King of the Mountain Podcast. We do it. We do it real big, boy. Second of all, I do have a blog site that I am working on. I have not officially launched it yet. I want to start providing some original content for people to read and enjoy. Now, my boy Liam, he wrote a piece several months ago about why you should give Impact Wrestling a chance. And Mick Foley retweeted that as a chance. You might have saw that article. Got all sorts of retweets and likes, and lots of people saw it. Lots of hits. It was a great article. Well, he provided me an article, which is going to be the first one we're going to publish off the blog site. And it's about the final deletion and why TNA really shined by letting these two guys exercise their creative freedom and their creative control, and why that makes TNA so special as opposed to another show you might watch where people have to operate inside a box. So I think you're really going to like it. There's a piece I'm working on that I'm really excited about, and it's basically centered around maybe TNA is the new home for heavyweights, for heavyweight wrestling. And that's kind of funny because they did get off the ground with the X Division, and that's what they were known for. But now every promotion has their flippity floppity guys and the high flyers and the cruiserweights and the lightweights and whatever it is you want to call them. Now, just like anybody else, I would love to see more X Division so we can show the world what TNA can do. I would love to see that, trust me. But I'm starting to think now, I look at the roster, I see EC3, I see Galloway, now we're bringing in Moose, I see Lashley, I see that Ryback became a free agent as of today. TNA might be a home, the new home, for heavyweight wrestling. Other companies are using smaller guys as their world champions. Now, I grew up in the 80s, and I remember big, larger than life guys, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", champions. TNA may be able to provide that home now and establish their identity of something that's the exact opposite of how they started off in a company. Funny how things kind of work full circle. So let's keep an eye on that and let's see what happens. Last thing I want to talk about real quick, and we're going to get into the interview. A couple of people have hit us up recently, over email, Instagram, Twitter, a couple different platforms, and they were, last week I plugged a couple sponsors before the podcast, and they said, hey, we're not really feeling the sponsor plugs. We just kind of want you to get to the podcast, get to the content. Well, I want to explain this to you guys, for those who don't understand, in its simplest form. The podcast is free for you guys to listen to. It is not free for us to produce and give to you. There are production costs, there's monthly fees, and then if we want to promote the podcast, that comes out of our pocket as well, which that's our choice to do if we want to promote the show and put some dollars into it. But as far as giving you the monthly content or the weekly content, it does cost us. So it is important that we do plug these sponsors. I want to say we've probably delivered close to 12 episodes right now that were commercial free. But now it's kind of time for us to start plugging those sponsors a little bit. If you don't enjoy that, we do truly apologize. But any of the bigger podcasts you listen to, you're probably hearing some sponsor plugs, and we're really no different. We want to continue to give you this podcast for free. You guys listen for free. We want to continue to give that to you, but we also need to plug these sponsors so that we can receive a little help on our end. If you guys feel what I'm saying, so. Hang in there, guys. The sponsor plugs are going to happen. I promise they'll be short and sweet. And as we continue to grow, they're going to be even more important. So that's it for me. Thanks for listening to me blab on for a couple minutes. And here is what you came here for. All right, the Robbie E interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. King of the Mountain Podcast. Subscribe. And here we go with Robbie E. Hey, what is up, everybody? BQ here. This is the King of the Mountain podcast, super special edition. Of course, we got Will and Kyle in the place to be, and we also got two-time TNA Tag Team Champion Robbie E in the place to be. Robbie E, thank you for joining us. It is an honor to have you.
You know, I can't believe after Will made us start this thing 20 minutes late that you announced his name before you announced my name. I mean, who is this Will guy? I have a major bone to pick with this Will guy. He's ruining my afternoon. He thinks he's like the king of the podcast. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this thing with him on the other line.
Oh. See, BQ, you got heat. Got me heat already. You always get heat with someone.
No, Will's cool, I promise. It was more so technical difficulties. We'll just say it's my fault.
All right, fine.
Yeah, take one for the team.
I do want to say Kyle here, I think we had to put him on oxygen when I told him that Robbie agreed to be on the show.
Oh, huge fan. Thanks for coming on, Robbie.
No worries, bro. I got you, Kyle. As long as your name's not Will, I like you. I like everyone on this podcast except for Will. So anybody can be honest.
So I want to ask you first. I'm going to jump into this right away. I need you to put over this this bed that you ordered that you've been talking about on Twitter forever, because you posted this picture in this bed like it was your guilty pleasure. I've never been excited about anything as you appear to be excited about this bed that you had coming in.
Well, it's made my wife really excited because we control each half of it. So she basically makes me non-existent in the bed. So she loves it because like I'm not even there because all I am is a nuisance to her in bed. Basically what it is, it's a king size bed, and each side of it comes with an iPad. It's a rest performance bed. It's called. It's a smart bed, and you control your own half of it by how much pressure you want on your hips, on your legs, on your neck, on your back, and but again, you could control your own half. So when my wife's in bed, she basically is like sleeping alone. It's like if I'll reach over to her across the line, she'll like roll her eyes and basically say like, "Do you realize what you're doing right now? Like you're crossing the line. You're making my pressure off." Like I'm not even allowed to go on her side of the bed.
Now, Robbie, I gotta ask: does Prancer Pants get a spot in the bed, or does he have to sleep on the floor?
Prancer Pants does get a spot in the bed, but he always sleeps. She's a baby face to me in the morning for like 2 minutes, but she doesn't want anything to do with me at night. She'll only sleep with my wife. I tell you, dude, in my house, I'm like chopped liver. Seriously.
How does this help your back after taking that choke slam onto the barbed wire?
Well, that is just healing now a week later, but it definitely has helped it. But the cuts and the scrapes and the little scar that I got, it didn't do anything for. But speaking of that Monsters Ball match, yeah, first-hand experience. It's as crazy as it seems that it is. A few thumbtacks and barbed wire, and it could definitely it could be career-ending.
Now, every time you get in the ring with Abyss, something bad's gonna happen.
Well, when you're in the ring with a dude that's got a funky mask on that's twice your size, yeah, it's a little scary.
Oh, he's beautiful now. He doesn't do the mask anymore. He's a beautiful man now.
Yeah. Well, the pain is still a mask to me, and he should put the mask back on. Have you seen his teeth? And the thing is, you guys, I don't know if you've ever been close enough to him to actually smell him, but that is just something in itself. Also, just having to touch him, the sweat and the dirt, it's pretty. That's Monsters Ball in itself. Just touching him.
So you mentioned your wife, and you guys are given, if I'm playing my math right here, I'm not stalking or anything. You guys are 4 months along, 4 months pregnant?
Actually, we are about, hold on, let me calculate the weeks. I'm doing math on my fingers. 4, 8, 12, 16, 24. Now, we're like 5.5 months, because we're, 25 or 26 weeks, so we're like 5.5 months.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. She's due the beginning of November, but they say for twins, expect a little early. It should be end of October, I'd say.
So I got to ask this: what is? I'm a father myself of 2, but what is it like? What is the reaction when you find out that you're having twins?
Wait, before I get into that, you're a father, but is Will a father also? Because that would just be a travesty.
Oh man, yeah.
Is there more Wills? Is there more Wills in this world?
They are.
Oh my God, his poor kids. Did he mess things up for them like he messed up this podcast for us today?
I hope not.
Does he like bring them late to like their school plays and like their sports games? You know, I'm just kidding.
20 minutes late.
Preparing for twins, I'm pretty sure there is no way to prepare. You know, like I'm reading all the books and doing all that, but until like there's two living mini BroMan Robbie E's in my hand, I don't think I'm really gonna know, you know, how to prepare for it until they're there. You know.
Well, what's the reaction like though? Are you like, I only ordered one?
Yeah, well, it was my wife. On our first appointment, my wife was like, you know, I'm overly tired. I feel like I'm more tired than I should be. And the doctor goes, oh, I know why you're so tired. And he flips the screen around. He points to it, because you're having twins. It was like a movie scene. And my jaw drops. She starts crying. Like, I'm just thinking double money, everything. It was like, it was insane, man.
What can you expect, though, from a two-time tag team champion? It'd be twins every time.
Yeah, I know. I guess for me, it's like either go big or go home. Now I'm so into it. I think it's kind of, you know, I think it's appropriate now. Like, why wouldn't I have twins, you know?
I think you'll find, these are your first kids? Or do you have kids?
Yes, they are. Yep.
Yeah, I think you'll find out that each twin will be exact opposite of the other. That's usually how it works having kids.
Yeah, my wife, even though they're fraternal, but my wife swears that they'll be identical looking, so we'll see.
So speaking of kids, is it true that your earliest memory as a wrestling fan was when you were 4 years old?
Yeah, the first match that I ever remember watching, my older brother liked it, so it was Dan Spivey versus Sting on main event on Sundays at 6:05. That show, you remember that show?
Yes.
That Dan Spivey versus Sting on a Sunday, WCW or NWA, whatever it was called then, was the first match I ever saw.
And that was when you were 4 years old?
4 years old. About 25 years later, Sting was giving me his finisher on the outside of the ring. So it was pretty weird.
That's awesome. My only memory of being 4 is like my next door neighbor trying to eat a snail. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't recall anything that detail. With that being said, what was your aha moment when you just that aha moment when you said, I want to pursue this? Everyone has a different age. Some claim it's when they were 5. Some,
Well, I was into it in elementary school. Then I got out of it in middle school because I got into girls and stuff, and I was too cool for wrestling. And then I got back into it like the end of 8th grade, going into freshman year, and that was when I really started to like it. And I was like, this is hands down what I'm doing, and I want to do it. So like when I was like 13 when I was like, I'm 100% doing this right when I turned 16.
Were you in the backyard, Robbie?
Of course, on a trampoline? Yeah, duh.
Oh, yeah. I feel like all the greats started out in the yard, especially the later generation.
Yeah. But not like crazy, like hardcore or any of that. I mean, just more playing with my friends, you know what I mean?
Oh, that was a hot thing then. You remember those DVDs that were out in the early 2000s where kids were diving off roofs and shit? It was crazy.
Yeah, no, we never did any kind of stuff like that. But
you guys are smart.
I still made a fake title belt and walked around with it in high school, so trying to pick up chicks.
So when did you start training? Around what age?
I started training when I was 16, a junior in high school with 3 of my best friends, and then I had my first pro match on my 17th birthday, and now I'm 32,
wow.
So I've been wrestling half my life. Yeah.
Oh wow. You back in March, and I was actually there for this. I was live in the house. You guys reformed the BroMans, and we're really curious, and I know a lot of Impact Wrestling fans are. What was the reason behind bringing the team back together? Because from a viewer's perspective, it seemed like it was, maybe thrown together, maybe out of necessity, just because, a couple guys had left the company and everything. So just curious, how it came back together and what the difference is for you now compared to last time.
I think the reason it came back together is basically because I don't think it ever should have came apart in the first place. In my opinion, you don't always break up something when it's working so well and working good. And I think there was a lot left that the BroMans had to offer and still have to offer. And, I just think it was kind of like, every team splits at some point and has their time to be singles competitors and single stars, and I don't think it was our time yet, although I think it did both help us grow as singles wrestlers, and that's why now I think the BroMans are in a different place. and better than ever. And it did. The good thing about it was it did give us a chance to kind of show our singles ability more, and like give the fans opportunity to see that we actually do know wrestling moves and do know how to wrestle. So now back as a team and being fan favorites, we have a lot more to offer, I think, and the fans respect us more.
Very well said.
That's a great answer, and that really does lead me to my next question for you, Robbie, is that seeing that you've been in TNA for as long as you have and you've accomplished a lot, what else is on your list that you want to check off?
Wait, is this Will?
This is Will.
Wait, Will just asked me. Could you guys really let Will ask me a question?
We're equal opportunity.
Let me tell you something, Will. I got a bunch of questions for you, but fine, I'm going to answer yours.
Okay,
what else
thanks.
do I have to check off? Let's see. I'm a former television champion, X Division champion, and 2-time tag champ. So, the only title I really haven't held is the world title, and I would love to be added to the short list of Grand Slam champions. So, I mean, world title is obviously something every wrestler wants, to hold at some point, whether they want to be able to say they wear it to the ring or whether they want to say they wear it in the shower or wear it to bed. I personally want to wear the world title in the shower and when I go to sleep at night. So, but I do want to wear it at some point somewhere. So,
I know that may seem like an obvious question, but that's one that I know a lot of people are like, why didn't you ask that particular question? Because I've been watching TNA since the pay-per-view days, and we all talk about you. And some of the guys are like, you know what? That is someone, Robbie E is someone I would love to see, because just everything that you bring, everything you have to offer, I think you'd be a fun champion. And right now,
well,
I think wrestling needs that as a whole, especially now with the rebranding. And I just want to know who besides Goddard's has been past and present has been your favorite people to work with.
Work with on the same team or work against?
Either or.
Well, I mean, the first person that I was paired with was Cookie, and I mean there's no bigger nightmare than getting paired with Cookie. So that is definitely something that I would suggest people to not work with. Definitely don't work with anyone named Cookie, because wow, that was horrendous. After that was Bigger Rob, and the thing about I love working with Rob not only because he's such a great guy and an awesome dude, but it was just if I could tell you his face. Because before me and him got to know each other well, we're complete opposites. He's a real serious guy and everything. And if I could show you his face, I'll always remember when I handed him the pink sweater that I said that I wanted him to wear when we wore matching sweaters. It's just, I'll remember forever. Like you can't make this kind of stuff up when you go up to a guy 4 times your size who's all business and you say, hey, wear this pink sweater tonight. It was awesome.
I missed the list. You guys got some really good stuff in with that.
Yeah, well, between the list and the red rope that we came through and the sweaters, I think we made something that was just kind of there into something fun and entertaining, and we made nothing into something,
Chicken scratch and a chicken salad. That's what they say.
And see,
that's it,
And that
Bigger Rob and Big Rob and Bigger Rob wearing matching sweaters, I just think is priceless.
Gold.
And see, and it takes.
I would never wear matching sweaters with Will. I will never wear a sweater with Will.
I'm up here in Chicago, and I don't even think I wear sweaters in the wintertime. Another question that was submitted, and this was a good question. Given the ups and downs with the company, and you've been very loyal, what keeps you so loyal to TNA?
It is what it is. Everyone has their own things that they want to accomplish in wrestling, and their different positions with the company. I've never had any problems with TNA in 6 years. They treat me good. I enjoy my life. I like where I live. I like the car I drive. I like, everything about my schedule. So, I have nothing to complain about. You know what I mean? And until I do have something to complain about, I don't really need to look elsewhere,
I really like how you talk about loyalty. There's a company that I myself have been loyal to now for several years, and that is Dollar Shave Club. See, I have very coarse facial hair, and in my job I have to shave every day. And when I was in the military, I really had to shave every day to make sure my skin was smooth and I was within regulations. So in the past, nothing was worse than shaving with an old rusty blade just because I was too lazy or, even too cheap to buy new ones. But now I get 4 new blades mailed to me for just a fraction of the price every month, and I could use a new blade every single week if I wanted to. So trust me, this is a great deal. All you have to do is visit dollarshaveclub.com/BQmusic. That's right, BQ, and I spell music, M-U-Z-I-K. You can even click the link in the description of this podcast. So that is right, dollarshaveclub.com/BQMUZIK to get started. Dollar Shave Club, shave time, shave money. You just hit your 6-year anniversary like last week or something, didn't you?
Well, my debut was in October. So in October it'll be 6 years since I debuted, but I actually had signed a few months prior. So yeah, it's actually right around 6 years now since I signed my first contract with them. Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that long.
I know, right? Well, it's just I don't even remember a time when I did. I don't know. Life's weird. It just all goes so quick. I don't even remember life before TNA. It's like a blur.
What was your when you got with TNA? How did that tryout happen? How did that come about after coming off the Indies?
Just Terry Taylor. I was always in contact with him, and he always liked me. And then finally, it just kind of worked out that it was the right place to get an opportunity. And it just happened.
What's it been like working with Raquel? We haven't seen much of her work yet. How do you think she's coming along, and what is her ceiling, her potential, so to speak?
She's athletic. And if you're athletic, you could pretty much eventually earn everything. But, she'll tell you, and it's pretty clear that everyone knows, she's very new to wrestling. And, again, she knows, everyone knows. But she's learning, and she's willing to learn, and she's training during the week at a school by her house where she lives. And she's working hard to get better and better. So she can only get better.
I actually just watched just yesterday. She had a match on the last Shine pay-per-view, Shine 36, against Kelly Klein from Ring of Honor. And, Raquel, it's obvious when you watch her work, she's still learning, but she does some things in the ring with her athleticism that you can just tell she has this world ahead of her in the ring. She's got some moves that other people aren't doing.
She's got some MMA background, and she does this crazy fitness stuff. So yeah, when she's able to put it all together and mix the two, the stuff she knows and incorporate it into pro wrestling the right way, she'll be she could be something special.
You spent several years on the indie circuit and still do indie work to this day. How important do you think it is to come up on the indies rather than being, birthed in an in-house developmental system? What do you think, the difference is?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but the thing is, it's 2016 and wrestling has changed so much that, some of the greats never were on the indies. You can list how many guys that are main event guys right now on television that were never on the indies. So I think it could go really either way. If you have great trainers and you're getting trained and taught the right way, I'm not going to say that you need the indies. It is what it is. But do the indies season you and, get you experience? Of course. They certainly don't hurt the situation. It's no different than actors, if you're already a famous person in another world, you might just still get a big role in a movie without any prior acting experience. Or there's the guys hustling in small plays to try and get a break. They have more experience, but it is what it is.
You work one of the heavier indie schedules within Impact Wrestling. Are you happy working these dates, or would you like to see Impact get back on the road? What do you think needs to happen for them to grow?
I definitely miss it. I definitely miss Impact being on the road. It's some of the greatest times of my life, traveling around with great people and, wrestling all over. So, I miss being a part of our live events. And I do think at some point they will come back. I think now we're just focused on TV and getting our product where the company wants it to be as far as television, then I think live events will slowly get brought back.
Well, January, you guys came to Pennsylvania. That was a great time. I was there. You had the classic middle finger match with Jesse. That was great.
Okay, yeah.
Rare scene. I don't know if that ever
Will was there. Well, I would have got, if Will was there, I would have got him ejected from the building, but that's another story. But as for my indie schedule, it's just, when I have time off, I love wrestling. I still learn, and I want to be around it. So, not to mention, obviously, part of my life as far as my salary and making money. It's extra money also. So I like to get out of the house. My wife likes to get me out of the house. I'm used to traveling a lot. So I still like to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
So do you still consider yourself like a student of the game? Are you still learning every day, or do you feel like you've mastered it all and this is just,
Well, I don't think you ever stop learning. I don't think the best wrestler in the world, there's still things out there that they can learn, because wrestling's ever changing and people have different opinions and views, and there's always different takes on things. So I don't think there's any time when anyone could say they know everything about pro wrestling, and that's kind of like the cool thing about it, you know?
When it comes to Robbie E on TV and then the the Robbie E that works on the indie schedules, is there a big difference in your characters? Because in my area in Florida, we don't get very good indie shows. I mean, they're like really local competitors. I haven't had an opportunity to see you on the road like that. And I'll use Drew Galloway for an example. If he's working Evolve or something like that, his character is completely different than what you see on Impact each week. So do we get a different Robbie E if someone comes to see you in an independent setting?
No, what you see is what you get. I'm pretty much always me. You know what I mean? Just like I am on this podcast, just like I'm always the same guy. And hey, real quick, just I'm actually not in the car alone. I'm driving with one of my buddies. He's been wrestling for 5 or 6 years. I helped train him a little bit, and he is coming right now to help me teach my seminar. His name is Di-O-Nett. He's an up-and-comer from the Northeast. So he is here, too, in case you have any questions for him about me or any feedback on independent wrestling, too. Say hi, Di-O-Nett.
What's up, people?
What's going on?
Welcome to the show.
What's going on?
I told him I was going to introduce him like 20 minutes ago, and then he's been sitting here, and I forgot he was here, and now I'm introducing him.
You're treating him like
you guys
you're treating
know
Will.
you're not alone. Exactly.
It's always like that.
So what's it like working this closely with Robbie for doing things like seminars and things like that?
Well, it's always an experience, man. It's always a learning experience. And like you guys, I mean, as you guys know already, he's phenomenal in the ring. He's great. He knows how to work. And who better to be in the ring with a guy like Robbie E, man?
He's just saying that because I'm right next to him.
I might be just saying it. Just a little bit. I might be saying it, yeah.
I have a gun to his head right now. So I'm just...
Is this your first seminar traveling with him?
No, I've done a whole bunch, man.
Me and him have been all over the Northeast together. He used to live in the town right over from me, and we've been like road buddies for a few years now. We've been anywhere in the Northeast. We've pretty much driven together.
So what are these seminars? I have seen on Twitter that you do these seminars. What are they? I've seen pictures. What do the seminars consist of?
I mean, it just depends on the kind of group, whether I have new guys or experienced guys, but just the difference between independent wrestling and television wrestling, help with promos, help with making yourself look like a star, what you need to get to the next level. I mean, just stuff to help guys out. And again, yeah, like I enjoy doing it, You always say, like, when you start, like, how you want to be nice to younger guys and give back and stuff. So I enjoy doing them.
So traveling with Robbie there, you're getting free advice pretty much.
Oh, man. It's a blessing, man. I'm telling you, I've learned so much over the years with this guy, man. And it's just not wrestling. It's kind of like the whole life situation.
I help him with his girl problems, even though I'm the last person that should be helping anybody with girl problems. But I help him with girl problems and, everything. And today, actually, we're not alone. It's also Nunzio is going to be up there, too, little Guido. So it's going to be a few of us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I wish I was at that seminar.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I bet you do, Will. I bet you do. You'd probably be 15 minutes late, wouldn't you?
Gosh, Will and I are way too old to start wrestling, but I think we'd throw in a couple singlets.
I'm not too old. Remember, I'm still in martial arts, so I'm still athletic.
You're right. You're right.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not too far removed from the military, so I still got a little bit of go left in me. But
where are you guys all located?
We're all from different places here. I mean, I'm calling you from Long Island, New York.
I'm in Chicago.
And I am in I'm currently in southern Illinois, but I live in near Pensacola in Florida. I'm from California, but I live in Florida.
And how do all you guys know each other? I'm kind of flipping the podcast back to you. Now I'm interviewing you guys.
TNA brings people together.
Will and I were both on the independent hip hop scene for a long time, and that's how we met in the music world. And then I basically wanted to get into podcasting because hip hop is such an oversaturated genre, and it just kind of gets to the point where if you want to be successful in a side gig, you move on and try something different. And him and I both shared a love for TNA, and we both, were two guys that really wanted to start a podcast. And then we talked about it, and we're like, hey, I wanted to start one. Hey, I wanted to start one. And we got involved like that. And then we met Kyle along the way. He runs a Instagram page called The Daily Impact, which is the number one fan site on Instagram.
Robbie actually did a little video promo for it. I got you on
Did he really?
Celeb VM. Yeah, he did.
Oh, word up.
Yeah, he did the
So wait,
Celeb
let me
VM
get
for
this
us
straight.
too.
You were a rapper?
I was, and I know I don't sound like it with my voice at all. I was.
Wait a
and
minute, hold
will-
on. Wait, we're really flipping the script here a
Oh,
second.
no.
Hold on a sec.
I know it's
Wait a
coming.
minute. I need to at least know what your rap name was.
It was the same thing I used for my podcast, BQ. It was BQ the MC.
Oh, there's people on
Okay, so
Facebook holding your album cover. Holding your CD cover up.
Oh boy. What was your name, Will?
William Jackson, just plain William Jackson. I'm not a rapper though. I'm a musician, and producer. So I'm the guy that would make all the music and submit instrumentals and getting them into different places and playing live. So he heard my stuff. I heard his. Let's work together.
BQ. Could BQ give us like a little line? Can we get a little verse? Like, can you bump something out?
You got bars.
Drop the
BQ.
16.
Yeah, you got bars. Go ahead.
I had a feeling you were gonna say this. I haven't rapped in a little while.
Now, if he drops a bad verse, all of a sudden ratings just gonna drop.
Oh man, yeah, no kidding. Yo, I get that cheese, no provolone. Dudes want to poke their nose. Close shave, put your hands to cheeks like Home Alone. The way I come hard, they thought I meant blow my load. Negative, I'll ride till I die on the open road. Broken skull, beast mode. Western side of the coast, residing, sliding head first like Pete Rose. Make change like minimum wage, I got deep flows. From this side of Cali to East Coast. I'm half man, half amazing, who's second to none. Eat MCs early, I don't stop till my breakfast is done. Your Lakers defense, I'm winning 27-1. It's Clipper Nation now, no testing me, son. Smack a fast pitch like Mike Trout. The quickest roundhouse to kick your mouth till it's lights out. Q deliver the news like it's a bike route. Got the upper hand now, showing them what I'm about. Yeah.
I would speak.
To get the full picture of that, what are you wearing right now? Are you in like a bow tie and like a shirt and tie, or like?
I can't hear you guys. My earbuds went on fire. They are inflamed.
I'm actually wearing and I meant for this special occasion to wear my BroMans t-shirt, and I failed. I'm wearing a Broken Skull Ranch t-shirt.
Oh, good God. Well, that just broke my heart. That Broken Skull just broke my heart. Now, you know what, Will? I like you now, BQ. I can't stand you. Will, you're off the hook.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
I've heard that somewhere before.
Maybe Nas might have said something like that.
No, that was MVP that used that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true. I had my BroMans shirt like right next to me. Like, I'm gonna wear it for the interview, and I freaking failed because I was so flipping out about these technical difficulties.
Oh boy.
We need some new BroMans shirts. I've had the same one for like 3 years now. We got any new merch coming out, Robbie?
Yeah, they're actually making a new BroMans shirt right now for Pro Wrestling Tees. And then I got some Robbie E ones that I have for shows and everything. But yeah, next week or two, I'd say look for the new BroMans shirt. I
do want to ask Robbie E about this interesting dynamic he has with EC3 on Twitter. And I'm curious what your guys' friendship is like in real life, because I don't know, EC3 seems to like to emasculate you on Twitter for some reason.
Well, he basically hates that I get away with everything I get away with and get all the free stuff that I get, and that a human being like me even exists. And, he hates my guts while loves me and knows that I'm the only one that understands him at the same time. It's like we have a weird love-hate thing. And then I'll call him out of being, because he is the biggest scumbag. We basically think each other is the biggest scumbag in existence. Because he's a lying, two-timing, he pretends to be nice to people, but he really hates them, and he wants to, we're just both really trying to prove who the bigger scumbag is.
Oh, wow.
But while we're friends at the same time. if
What
any of
happened
that
to the
made
experience?
sense.
What happened to the EC3 or the Robbie EC3 experience? I enjoyed it a lot.
No, we've talked about bringing it back. Just I think it's time and everything, and doing
It's
it
time.
and recording it.
The fans miss it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you guys want to jump ship and do it with us, and we leave Will behind, and maybe Kyle and BQ hop over with us, and we get rid of Will, and we leave him, alone, then maybe we will start it again.
What's your relationship with Vegas Fuel? I know they played a part in bringing that podcast together, sponsored it at least. Can you give us some background on that?
I mean, just they ran the dude did the podcast, but yeah, no relationship at all. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just the guy did the podcast, yeah.
Do you drink the Vegas Fuel?
I did. I've tried it once or twice, but it kind of tastes gross.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but it kind of tastes like piss and rotten fruits.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's some bad imagery, Kyle. Thank you.
Now, we're going to wrap up here, but I want to do a lightning round real quick. 5 questions real quick. First one, your dream opponent.
BQ.
Favorite indie company to work for?
GLCW Dave Hero in Milwaukee.
Favorite New Jersey Nets player of all time?
Derek Coleman.
Cookie or Raquel?
Fucking Kel.
Jersey Shore or Big Brother After Dark?
Jersey Shore.
Okay, I'm going to do a word association with you real quick. I got 5 names, and you tell me the first word that comes to mind. First one, or phrase. Ethan Carter III.
Scum.
Jesse Goddard.
Jacked.
Jeremy Borash.
Hamster.
Dixie Carter.
Hot.
Last one, Rosemary.
Hot.
Yes.
See, he feels the same way. He feels the same way I do. I say that every week.
You're sick.
See, Will, it's like me and you. I can't believe we ever did get along, man. I feel like I've known you for years.
Now, Robbie, I know this is kind of a strange question, but I was curious. Have you ever tried shopping online with Amazon.com? Now, I have, and as a matter of fact, I just got a brand new microphone for the podcast, and I used it last week. Now, it's been my #1 source for purchasing used books, music, things for this show, all sorts of items over the year. Now, I'm sure many of our listeners already shop with Amazon, but I'm here to let them know of an exciting way to support the podcast. Access Amazon.com through one of our affiliate links. Now, the easiest way to do that is to click on the description of both our YouTube page and our Podbean website, and you can find a link there. We've got it for US and the UK. Look, it doesn't cost you $1. You don't have to buy anything extra. All you have to do is click our link and shop as normal. Amazon will kick a small percentage our way to help cover our production costs and monthly fees. So do us a favor and keep us in mind next time you shop with Amazon and help us keep this show free. All right, well, we want to thank very much. Again, it was an honor for Robbie E to come by the King of the Mountain podcast. Thank you very much. Again, it was an absolute honor to talk to you.
It was a blast.
Hey, no
Thank
worries,
you so
man.
much.
Yeah, if I could real quick, thank you guys. If I could throw out my social media and everything, and then if you guys don't mind, if Di-O-Nett does his also, if he could throw his out.
Plug
Sure.
away. Plug all your
away.
shit. Any upcoming shows, too?
Yeah, man. Well, my Twitter and Instagram are at Robbie E Impact, and then my website is robbie-e.com. And then, of course, impactwrestling.com, you can find out, all information and everything. And then on my personal website is where you can find my schedule and where I'll be. And then Di-O-Nett, you want to hit them with yours?
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitter, Di-O-Nett Vaton. That's DIONETT VATON. That's my Twitter account, and I also do reaction videos for YouTube. I actually do reaction videos to my own wrestling matches, so you can check that out at Dwids TV. That's DWIDS-TV. So come check it out. Give it a holler, man.
Word.
Absolutely, and we'll tweet those links out, definitely.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and then real quick before I leave, I just want to tell you one thing, BQ. I didn't want to admit this, and I don't think I ever have in the wrestling world, but I myself was a rapper at one time. In middle school. in middle school, I was always into like heavy rap and stuff in elementary school and like whatever. I had a big problem with my parents because I wore a Snoop Dogg shirt to school in 3rd grade and like all this crazy stuff. But anyways, I really did. I was a huge rap fan, and I was a rapper for a few months, and my rapper name was Crazy Click.
Crazy Click. The one-man click.
Yeah, the one-man click. And I don't know why, but I was Crazy Click, and I have a rap song, and I actually still have the whole song memorized. It was a song dissing Bad Boy Records. I don't know why I was against them, because I was like pro Death Row, so I like dissed Bad Boy Records, and I know the whole song, but I'm not gonna rap it. I'm gonna save it. This is to be continued if we ever do this again, because I just can't do it right now. I'm not in the
Robbie E
mindset.
killed Biggie Smalls, confirmed.
A diss track against Bad Boy could have deadly consequences, so you took your chances.
I'm a Death Row guy too, so.
Word. Am I going to hit this car? Yeah. I got to park somewhere else. Sorry, I'm parking. All right, guys, thank you very much. It was fun. You guys are super cool.
All right, you too. Thank you
Have a
so
good one,
much.
Robbie.
Have a good one.
All right. Take
All right.
care, guys.